Rachel.
I'm Robert.
And you're watching R&R with 1-to-1.
Today we're going to address web addresses.
Blah, 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 something.com.
Right.
Done.
No. So a web address, you might have heard, has another name. It's called a URL. And web addresses are ways for us to easily access the different websites that are out there on the internet. There are three parts of a web address. If you start looking at it from the right to the left, you start with the extension, right? The top level domain, they call it. And that's the .coms, the .orgs, the .nets. When the internet first started, those actually meant something. Com stood for commercial, net was for an infrastructure, edu was for education. There's a couple of different ones.
But nowadays, there's a whole slew of extensions that we can use.
Oh yeah, there's like over 1,000. And some of them are regulated and some of them aren't. So there's a lot to choose from.
So now what about the next part of the address?
Right, so then you get into the second level domain, and that's usually your company name, organization, or it's just something clever that you're going to be able to remember. After that, you get into the subdomain. That's the front part of the website, and that actually dictates different sections of your website that you can go to.
It's like the www.
Well, yeah, sure. The www originally stood for World Wide Web, and that was an attempt back in the 90s for people to think how we were going to use the internet in a certain way. The www subdomain caught on, but it didn't really actually do what the original intent was, so people just still use it today.
So why do we use it?
Why indeed? It actually doesn't do anything. People just set it up for habit's sake and because they think for some reason they're going to miss traffic if they don't have it set up. But usually 99 out of 100 times you can still get to that same website if you don't use the www.
So now I can actually buy a web address for my company?
We can't buy it, but you can lease it. There's an international nonprofit called ICANN, and you would need to register your domain using a company called a registrar, and that would allow you to lease the domain for a certain amount of time depending on how much money you want to spend.
But we do that here at 1-to-1 as well.
We do. We both register and renew domains, monitor them for our clients all the time.
That's all we have time for today, and I feel like a web address expert.
Well, you are ill-informed.
Ugh. Well, next time, hopefully, I'll come up with some better jokes. That's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching R&R with 1-to-1.
Stay curious.